That one's what they got.
Hey, it's me, and here's what we're doing. We have the fish master here,
Oh, don't.
and we are going to pickle all these little northerns, and get ready. Here she is. Say hello, Mother.
Hello, Mother.
No, say hello.
Hello.
See, my mother has a sense of humor, too. All right. These little northerns are going to start getting cut up into bite-sized pieces, and when she starts selling this, she's going to run Maury's out of business. I'm just telling you, it's way better than any bought herring you can get. So, I'm going to jump in here and help. We're going to make a whole bunch of little pieces. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. All those little fishies ended up in little chunks, like that. Now they're going to get measured out. They're going to find out how many we got. So they fill this quart jar. We dump them in this gallon jar, just like that. And eventually we're going to know how many fishies you got. This isn't the first time she's done this. She has a history of doing this a lot. To me, I'm thinking there's going to be like 1 gallon of pure fish, maybe a hair over. So, we'll be back. There you go. They're measured out right at 4 quarts into that gallon jar. Now we got some ingredients coming. We'll be right back. All right, so we got to put some pickling salt in there. As you can see, we're not playing in the sand here. But if you got these little hard lumps in there, you don't get the right amount in your measuring cup. So you got to smash all them little guys out of there.
Yes.
We'll be right back. We got the recipe, but here's what's going to happen here. You're going to get 1 cup of pickling salt. In now, Mother? You want the water first?
Don't you dump that in.
Salt goes first.
Then 1 quart of vinegar.
Quart
White vinegar.
Of white vinegar. This is going to get stirred around and stirred around and stirred around until it's dissolved. She didn't like what I was using. Watch this. Here she comes. Yep, she didn't like my knife. There she goes. So, when that gets dissolved, that's going right into that jar of fish. It's going to sit for
6 days.
6 days.
And you got to shake it up once a day.
And once a day, like clockwork, she goes down there and she tips it over and shakes it and flips it back up for 6 days. We'll be back in a second.
To get it down.
So now that liquid's all in there now. Look at that. That's perfect gallon. And now, I'm sorry, I'm not watching. So my assistant was stabbing that spoon down in there, getting it down in there. Now she let out a little secret here.
Now we're going to shake it.
It's got to get shook. And today she said she's going to shake that quite a bit. Every time she thinks of it, she's going to walk down there and shake that.
Because otherwise the salt will settle down the bottom.
If you didn't hear that, she said the salt will settle and you can't have that. So, all right, in 6 days we'll be back. Thank you. Okay, so we're back. It's been 6 days. Here we go. Them fish are going in there. They're going to get washed.
Right into the salt brine off.
The salt brine is coming off them, as the master fish pickler says. And she's really impressed at how white them fish are. Okay, so they're going in to some nice fresh cold water. There you go. They're going to get rinsed. Now, while that's going on, we're going to take a little look at the spices that are going. These are going to get rinsed. They're going to get set aside for an hour. They got to be dried off. All right, we'll be right back. All right, over here, she's boiling her pickling recipe. It is the only seasoning in there, right there. That is it. How much of this Four Brothers, Mother?
Half a cup.
A half a cup is in that kettle, right there. Then you have to use distilled white vinegar, and that is How much vinegar?
I use about a whole gallon of vinegar for everything. Well, and there, right there, no, it's, right now I just.
We got a recipe, but if you want the recipe, we'll give it to you, but.
This is the vinegar I use to make the brine there now. 9.5 cups.
9.5 cups went into this kettle right here. A half a cup of this spice.
7.5 cups of sugar.
7.5 cups of sugar in here.
And 3 3/4 cups of wine.
And 3 3/4 cups of wine. This is the only secret we're going to keep from you. This is the wine, but I'm not going to give you the name. We'll be back. So here we go. We are set up in our fish factory. Remember my treats my mother gives me every night. All right, so we got the jars lined up. You got the fish, you got the onions. Here's the way it goes. A little handful of fish in that jar. Here comes a few onions. A handful of fish in that jar. In that jar. A few onions. Move on to the next jar. Handful of fish, few onions, handful of fish, few onions. When we get these full, we'll be back. All right, there you go. The jars are layered with fish and onions and some onions put on top. Now, they're gonna get filled with that brine right there. I'm gonna show you. We'll fill one and then we'll be back for the rest of them. You see that? Right to the top. We'll be back. So there you go. They're all in there. That 1 gallon of fillets made 10 pints with the onions. So 6 days, we'll be back. 6 days. Here we are. We're back at the fish factory. That jar just got opened. There they go. Oh my. Hold up, Mother. Hold up. Hold up. They might not be any good. We might have to throw them away. Let me see. Look at here. My mother's going to try one. Yep. Is any good, Mom?
Yeah, good.
There you go. You got her. Best pickled fish. Bye.